Hey everyone, thanks for joining me. My name's Ben and I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to take a little bit of time to go over my monthly review of what my portfolio has been doing over March. If you are new, how this will be working is I'm going to go over all of the purchases from February, all of the dividends from March, and also how the value and the actual return of the portfolio has changed throughout March. If you are interested in what's happened more recently with my portfolio, I will add a link to my playlist around my weekly updates down in the description below. So feel free to go and check that out if you want more on the Pulse updates. Alternatively, feel free to subscribe and catch the next monthly video next month. And without further ado, let's move on and see what's happened with my portfolio over the last month. So I feel one of the best places to start would be with the overall value and return changes for the month. So starting on the 1st of March, my portfolio sat at a value of £2,264 with a return of 3.42%, so around £75. And this has grown to a total value of £2,628 with a return of 10.91% or around £258. So overall this is a change in value for the portfolio of £367, and it includes me spending £171 on various stocks throughout the month of March. Talking of purchases, let's have a look at what I did buy and sell over February. So a quick heads up, I did no selling in February, but the purchasing starts off on the 1st of February with the purchase of 2 shares of DTE for a total of £26.10, with the following purchase taking place on the 3rd, and this time I picked up 0.1 of a share of Apple for a total value of £9.86. The next transaction took place on the 12th of February, where I picked up 1 share of GSK for £12.02. And finishing off the month, I bought 2 shares of PPL for £38.90 on the 25th, and then another 3 shares of PPL for £58.12 on the 26th of February. Now, overall, I'm relatively happy with the amount of money that I was able to invest in February, and also think that the companies I picked up were good value at the time. Ideally, these purchases will result in a rough increase of my yearly dividends by around £8.37, which will hopefully bring my rough year total to around £114 per year, but that isn't including any withholding tax from non-UK companies. On that note, I think it's a good time to move over and look at the dividends for the month. Now, if you watched my last monthly update, you will be aware that I had an ideal target of around £10 for this month's dividend payments. This was based on expected pay dates and expected pay amounts for March for the companies I hold tracked on my spreadsheet. I did the same thing in February and it seemed to work. The target was very close to correct, but alas, this time it does not seem to be the case. Looking over to the individual payments, we start with ING on the 5th of March. They paid out a total of 18p for me holding 2 shares, followed by Intel and Wells Fargo on the 9th, with Intel paying out 2 pence for holding 0.1 of a share, and then 6 pence from Wells Fargo for holding 1 full share. This was followed by Amgen, who paid out 4p for me holding 0.04 of a share, and J&J, who paid out 19p for me holding 0.3 of a share. Chevron also sent across 79p for me holding a full share, and finishing off the 16th we had Exxon with 53p for me holding a full share. The following day on the 17th we have a payment from 3M, who paid a total of 27p for me holding 0.3 of a share. Then we have Walgreens Boots, who paid out 29 pence for me holding a full share, and the final payment for the 17th came from Yum Brands, who sent across 2 whole pennies for holding 0.05 of a share. We then had a few payments come in on the 18th. Starting the day, we had Main Street Capital, who paid out their monthly dividend of 63p for my 5 shares that I hold. Then we had a penny from McDonald's for me holding 0.01 of a share, and then rounding off the day we had another monthly payer, this time 43p from Realty Income for the 3 whole shares that I hold. Following this, Stag Industrial on the 19th paid out a total 29 pence for the 4 shares that I hold, as well as Pembina Pipeline sending across 20p on the 22nd for the 2 shares that I hold. Dominion Energy sent 20p across as well. These came in on the 24th, and this time it was for me holding half a share. Getting near the end now, I do promise. we have the last three payments that came in on the 29th. The first payment came in from Home Depot, and this was a penny for holding 0.01 of a share. Then Kraft Heinz, who sent across 52 pence for the 2.1 shares that I hold. And finally, the last payment came in from Bank of America with a value of 33 pence for the 3 shares that I hold. So in total, I received 19 payments that came to a total value of £5 and 1 penny, which is half of my target return for this month. On the bright side, it is an increase from last month's value, but still below my payments from January. Looking over to my list of expected payments that I still haven't received, I am awaiting payments for the following stocks: BP, Broadcom, DTE, Microsoft, Pepsi and Shell, and I've got an estimated payment of around £3 to £5 from those companies. I do admit that the original target that I set last month did not include the withholding tax on non-UK stocks, but I'm hoping that this miss in return was actually due to delays in the dividends from the companies from Trading 212. So to make sure if that's the case or not, I would recommend subscribing and catching up with the weekly updates that come out on Tuesday, as that way we can see if they've come in next week or potentially the week after. So even though the system seems to be flawed, I am still going to try and forecast next month's earnings in the form of dividends. In this case, I am expected to get the upcoming payments through April to be a total value of around £10 again. This time though, it is including the 15% withholding tax on all of the non-UK companies. So hopefully that will reduce the issues presented throughout the month. I am setting a formal target between £6 and £10 for my dividends, which is still going to be the highest amount of dividends I've received in any particular month. And I guess there's a chance that it could actually be higher than that if the payments I was expecting to come in this month do come in next month and all of April's payments are made as well. But we'll have to see what happens in the next month's update. So overall, it's terrible. Completely terrible. And potentially I've wasted entirely all of my last year. Of course, that's not true. The value's still growing, the dividends are still growing, and I think that I am overall doing well. Just to finish off, I thought that I would take a chance to compare my portfolio to the VUSA ETF by Vanguard. So if we look at that, from the 1st of March to the 31st of March, the VUSA ETF saw an increase of 3.20%, but my portfolio has seen an increase in return of around 4.77%. I know this isn't really the best method to use to compare my portfolio to an ETF, but I don't really want to go all the way back through and factor in the purchase price for every single purchase that I've made. If I had included that at the forefront of my portfolio and my tracker, I may have been able to do it. But if you can think of another framework of evaluating this, please drop it down in the comments below. And also if you think that the portfolio is doing relatively well or a bit terrible, just let me know down in the comments below and we can have a chat about it. Next month will mark my rough 12-month anniversary of when I started investing in this particular ISA. So I will be doing another video then around the overall view of my portfolio over the year as opposed to the normal monthly update. So if you're interested in that, do remember to subscribe so that you don't miss it. And if you're interested in what's happened last month, you might be interested in this video here, which is my previous monthly update. And I've added some links down in the description for my weekly updates if you're interested. And until next time, remember to invest, save and subscribe.